nation. Abandoning imagination-born longings in their entirety, restraining all the senses with the mind on every side, and setting that mind firmly on the self under the direction of a steadfast intellect, one should practice tranquility little by little, and abstain from every kind of thought. From whatsoever reason this wavering and fickle mind wanders away, it should be curbed and brought to abide in the self alone. Supreme bliss wells up in a yogi who is tranquil in mind, whose passions are subdued, who is free from impurities, and who is in the Brahmic state. Thus, ever engaged in making the mind steadfast in spiritual communion, and having all the impurities of the mind effaced thereby, the yogin easily experiences the intense bliss of contact with Brahman. The man of spiritual insight, established in same-sightedness, sees the self as residing in all beings, and all beings as resting in the self. He who sees me in all beings, and all beings in me, to him I am never lost, nor he to me. Established in the unity of all existence, a yogin who serves me present in all beings, verily abides in me, whatever be his mode of life. O Arjuna, in my view that yogi is the best, who out of a sense of identity with others on account of the perception of the same Atman in all, feels their joy and suffering as his own. Arjuna said, O slayer of Madhu, owing to the fickleness of the mind, I find no way of firm establishment in spiritual communion through equanimity, as instructed by you. O Krishna, verily the mind is fickle, turbulent, powerful, and unyielding. To control it, I think, is as difficult as controlling the wind itself. The Blessed Lord said, O mighty armed one, undoubtedly the mind is fickle, and difficult to be checked. Yet, O son of Kunti, it can be brought under control by dispassion and spiritual practice. My view is that yoga is difficult of attainment by men of uncontrolled mind, but for those who have their minds under control, it is possible to attain, if they strive with the proper means. Arjuna said, What, O Krishna, is the fate of a man who, though endowed with firm faith, is not steadfast in his practices owing to distractions, and therefore fails to reach spiritual perfection? O mighty armed Lord, bewildered in the path of Brahman, supportless, does he not lose both this world and the next? Does he not perish like a rain cloud rent asunder? O Krishna, my doubt in this respect has yet to be cleared completely. Indeed, I find none better than thee to be that doubt dispeller. The Blessed Lord said, O son of Pritha, he does not meet with downfall, either here in this world or in the hereafter. Know for certain, O dear one, that one who treads the path of virtue never goes to ruin. The fallen yogi goes after death to the spheres of the righteous, and after having lived there for unnumbered years, is reborn in this world in a pure and prosperous family. Or he is reborn in a family of men full of wisdom and spirituality. Rebirth under such conditions is passing hard to get in this world. There, O scion of the clan of Kurus, he will regain the spiritual discernment of his previous birth, and then he will strive harder than ever for perfection. Even if helpless, he will be driven towards the path of yoga by the force of his previous striving. For even a beginner in the path of yoga goes above the stage requiring the aid of Vedic ritualism. As for the yogi striving diligently, he is cleansed of all his sins and gains spiritual perfection after passing through several embodiments. Finally, he reaches the highest state, which consists in release from the bondage of the body. A yogi is superior to a man of austerity. He is superior to a scholar. He is superior to a ritualist, too. Therefore, O Arjuna, be you a yogi. Of all the yogins, he is the most attuned in spiritual communion, who worships me with abiding faith and with his innermost self fused with me.